What's good, everybody? It is Sully, and welcome back to another Project Wally World update. I evidently have brought the weather from New England down here to Florida, but nonetheless, guys, we are going to give you a build update video here on Project Wally World. Now, guys, you can see it is in the water. We are still at the yard. They are actually working on the back deck right now for the quick gyro, getting some things taken care of there. So we are in the home stretch. You're going to have to pardon some of the mess. Let's get out of the rain and let's hop on board and let's show you what the team has been up to, guys. So welcome on board, guys. We just got to the helm before this little rain front came through here. As you take a look overhead, you can see 2 of the 6 of the downlights from the Lumishore light package that we've installed. Now, as a quick reminder, guys, on that Lumishore lighting, as I go ahead and show you on the page here, we're going to go ahead and bring it up and show you guys. We go to Vessel, and we come over here to our Lumishore tile, just like that. It's going to go ahead and it's going to load up for us. And what we're going to be able to do as this loads up is, you can see we have multiple zones in here. I can come to the helm, and I have full color tunability. I can go cool white. I can go warm white. I can go ahead and go full color spectrum all the way across the board very quickly, very easily changing my light colors. So obviously, if we're filming, let's go to nice bright white and cool white and get that taken care of. So we've got that happening right there. But now let's take a walk around before I show you everything else going on into the MFDs and everything else, and show you some of the other upgrades that have happened on the helm here, along with those Lumishore lights. Now, when we got the boat, there was a JL M6 speaker right there, and there was another one, I think it's, pardon my jacket over there, guys, right there, and then we've got 2 in the back. I can kind of see that one right there, and another one behind the life ring right over there. It's a nice sound system, but it didn't fill and give a good, clean surround sound, and it was also powered by the XDM amps, which are great amps. But we want a little more oomph. You're out here, you're ripping along, this boat can move out pretty nice. We still want to have good tunes and be able to entertain. So we went ahead and swapped those out with a pair of the MHD amps. So we have a 900 by 5 and like 600 by 4, I think, or 400 by 4. So we've got those 2 amps. Those are 24 volt amps. And those, the reason we have a 5 channel and a 4 channel is up here is one section. So we've got those 4 speakers we just talked about, and we went ahead and added in this M6 10-inch sub. So again, it's giving just a really nice surround sound in here with that bass. We're getting a nice fill-in sound. And then we make our way down to that cockpit here in a moment. We'll show you there are 4 more M677 speakers down there, and that's that other MHD amp is powering up. So we've got that going on. Really hoping we're going to be able to get underway, but with this weather, we weren't, so I can't show you the hardtop just yet, but we do have our Xantrex solar panels up there to feed this boat and give it some additional staying power along with being able to live on a mooring, because if you guys recall from the other videos, this boat does live on a mooring. We had to give special considerations for that. And then another thing here, guys, as we take a look over here, you're going to see that there is, let's see here, we've got our Garmin on board. We have 3 of these fobs right here. And as I go ahead and bring this up on the screen for you guys, I'm going to pop this up and show you what we are looking at right here. So now with our Garmin on board and these fobs, guys, we are able to keep tabs on everybody on board. And because these things are also water sensitive, so if somebody falls overboard, it's not just proximity from the boat that it will sound the alarm, but if somebody goes over, this is water sensitive. If you saw a recent Sundays with Sally, we talked about these. These are an amazingly simple, great add-on for you. And they have them in like this wristwatch style right here, as well as this carabiner style as well. And again, if we go ahead and we cut into the screen here, you're able to see I can come in here, keep tabs on everybody, see who's going on, and I can bring in and I can review and I can get my numbers on it, make sure everything is all good. It tells me my battery state, and everybody's got their own unique one, so it's easy to keep tabs on somebody. Now we go ahead, we'll close out of that. We'll come in here and we're going to go back over to our vessel page, and you're going to see, we talked about a moment ago, is this Lumishore. And like I said, we've got multiple zones on this Lumishore. So take a look right here, guys. On the Lumishore, we have our bait well, our cockpit combings, our helm, and cockpit overhead, and then our all cockpit lights. So we've got multiple options. And then come into scenes, and we can be 4th of July. I can do red, white, and blue on this boat. I can do DJ, which is sound the light. I've set that up for down there, so we don't work with these lights. We don't disturb the captain, but we can have a total party going on back aft. And then I've got RGB sweep, which is, again, going to happen down below. We're not bringing these lights into the mix, so we can still have a party zone down there, and you can be driving the boat. So we've got that happening there. Let's see, what else do we have going on? We do have Victron. We're getting that online. We're dealing with some teething pains there, but I'm going to show you that when we get down into the engine space as far as what's happening there. Now, let's get into the video, guys. We talked about this before. We have the FLIR AX8 cameras on board. So if I go in here, we bring this up, and I'm going to go to video setup, and I'm going to go to the image, and I'm going to go to visible. This is your standard visible, daylight viewable camera for an engine space. Nothing really new there, guys. I think we've all kind of seen that. But if I go over here to image mode, and I select infrared, we now have an infrared image of our camera space, or our engine space rather, which is nice, but still kind of hard to read. And obviously the boat's sitting here, nothing's really hot yet. But if I go over to the image mode and I go to MSX, it now blends that daylight and that infrared image on there, and it really makes this thing easy to look at and understand what it is. So obviously we have that view right there. That's kind of looking centerline down our engine bay. If I come over here, we can go to our generator one, and we're going to get that same AX8 camera. And again, just so you guys can kind of get an idea of what we're looking at, if I change my modes again to visible, there we go. We are looking off from the starboard side over to the port side at our generator. So if I go ahead and I bring that up, and I go to that MSX mode again, simple, easy to read, and you can see on here, again, we're getting things set up, but you'll see on that side there is a temperature bar on that. With that temperature bar, that lets us know exactly how hot things are in the space. And now the reason we did this across the generator is because we have a generator auto start on board this boat. So if we want to keep tabs remotely on this camera to see what's going on with our generator, not just is it pumping water or is everything good, but is it getting hot, we're able to do that. Now, how are we able to do that, you guys might say? Well, that is where the barnacle blue comes into play on this one. We've taken the barnacle blue, and we are able to pull all of the cameras on this boat in real time and get all the NEMA data in real time to keep tabs on this boat remotely. Anywhere in the world, as long as this boat has an internet connection, which with Starlink, very easy to do, we can go ahead and keep tabs and let you know what's going on. We can even also log in and start triggering things on and off with that barnacle blue. I'm going to show you that in a second. But let's wrap up what else we have going on here. Obviously with the video cameras, the other thing that we talked about with those cameras here is I can change, and you can see we have the salon camera going on right there. We talked about that, right? We have the port and starboard salon cameras. So we can keep tabs on what is going on down below while we're driving the boat underway. Maybe you want to keep tabs on the kids because they went inside. You can make sure they're not getting up to any shenanigans or mischief that's too crazy by simply pulling these cameras up. And then also, let's see, what else do we have on here, guys? Obviously, we've got the normal suspects. The smart gyro is getting ready to come online. And then let's see, what else do we have? Oh, yes, on our charts, let's take a look. We do have the serious weather. As you can look on there and see, it is green. We have weather. It is raining out there right now. So that is working. So one last thing to check off before we go down to the next stop on this tour, and that is down below in the helm space. Last time we were down here, the boys were hard at work wiring and pulling things around. So let's take a look inside of here. You can kind of see it's a little dark, but right there, center stage is our barnacle blue. And then let's see if I pull away and back up a little bit. There's a black box on the wall right there. That is our Garmin on deck. And then we've got our switches here. Everything is all nicely labeled and easy to get at. We've also gone ahead and removed some unnecessary items along the way, just trying to tidy this all up and keep this a nice workable space. So that is what is good up on the helm. I think I've touched most bases. Let's go back and try and stay out of the rain on the mezzanine, and I'll show you what we've been up to there. All right, guys, this one's going to be a quick one because Mother Nature has decided we need to rinse the boat off. But take a look in the overhead here, guys. There are the pair of the LumaShort downlights. It is daytime, a little hard to tell, but we do have the neon flex undergunnel lighting there, kind of matching the blue masking right now for going on. You can see also we've gone ahead and we've put that pair of the JLM677s right there, one above the MFD. The other one you can't see, we've got fenders blocking the way on that one. So we've got that going on. That's kind of the mezzanine. Once the yard period's done, we're going to get you guys a real right proper walkthrough. But in the meantime, we can get out of the rain, go down into the engine space, and talk about what's good down there. All right, guys, welcome back down into the engine space down here. You can start to see the last time we were down here, actually, guys, we were talking about adding in additional batteries to the battery bank. We were going to do the Victron battery charger and tie that in with the Victron shunt as well as the Victron charge controller and put all of that into the Victron Servo GX. Well, we've had to make a couple of audibles along the way here, guys. We just didn't have enough space over there for our Victron charger. So we left the factory Dolphin charger in place. Main reason we wanted to do that is we just wanted to have another way to communicate state of charge into the Victron Servo world of things so that we can monitor it. Why do we need to monitor it, guys? That's because, if you'll recall, we were going to do an Atkinson auto start feature for this because, again, this boat lives on a mooring. We want to make sure that we can keep these batteries fully charged up. So we need to be able to start our generator remotely. A lot of new boats it's already built in. That wasn't the case on this one, obviously, because, again, these boats normally live on a dock. So we went ahead, you can't see it, but buried behind this gray box right here is our Atkinson. It is labeled right here, generator start control, and then we've got a nice little switch right here. You want to run it manual, start it right there, flip it to manual, it acts just like it was from the factory. Here it is in Gen Auto Start. So that's what we have this set up for. Now, how does it know when to start? How does it know when to stop? We've gone ahead and set up some reference baselines on here. So when a voltage gets down to too low on here, the generator will automatically start. The charger will then kick on, start dumping in the power to refill it. And once it sees that it is back to a fully charged state, it will then send another signal back across over to the Atkinson, which will then turn this generator off. And the generator sits on an actual delay on the start and stop of it to make sure everything runs smoothly. So that's what's going on there with the Atkinson and the auto start. Take a look over here. You can see we have our Victron stuff right there, right, guys? So you can see we have our MPPT charge controller for the two panels and our servo. Don't mind the wiring right now, guys. We are still kind of working and getting everything tidied up. But what we will have on the Garmin screen here shortly, I am able to populate that up right here for you guys. We take a look at it. You can see right now we have the battery state of charge as well as what our solar output is as well as what our draw is from our shunt. Very easy to look at. And I can go ahead and I can pop this up and go to our overview. And now we've got a really nice graphical page to work from. So we take a look on our graph page there, you can see just how much solar we're getting, how much of the battery is charged, and what our DC loads are. If I want to, I can click on our solar yield and we can go ahead and that's going to bring us up to this page right here. And I can come in and I can pull up the history log and I can see, how long over the last 7 days, how much power have we got, how much have we used, what's going on. We're able to data log all of that. And this is also all available remotely because this is also tied into the boat's network. So not only with the Barnacle can I monitor cameras and pay attention to all my NEMA network and get all my battery statuses and get all of that, I can also pull it straight from the servo. It's kind of a belt and suspender type of a series going on here, but we have multiple ways to gain access to some very critical data. So that's what's going on there. And then let's see, what else do we have? Oh yeah, I guess there is one of two of those FLIR AX8 cameras. So you can kind of see that's all mounted and nicely tied up there. And then on center line right down there is the other FLIR AX8. So it's giving us a really nice view of what's going on. And then last but not least, guys, here is the additional house bank. Remember, this space was available for rent, so we rented it out and we put in 4 Group 31s. We have effectively doubled the capacity on the house battery bank because, again, guys, it lives on a mooring. I sound like a broken record, but I'm sure somebody's going to chime in and go, oh, why'd you put solar? Why'd you do battery banks? That's why. So I was really hoping this was going to kind of be the final tie-in, 3-part series video. Clearly not the case. We're still in the yard. Quick boys are doing their thing. We've got some other stuff to do. We've got some sea trials to attend to. So looks like I will be back for part 4 of Project Wally World. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below at Navtronics to stay up to date and in the know. Meantime, I'm going to wait for this rain to pass over, and we'll see you with a new episode again real soon. Peace.